Hey guys, so not sure how you can see me. So I'm in the synagogue church of Nazareth. This is Jesus' childhood synagogue, and they're about to close in about less than 15 minutes. But I wanted you to see this place, meditate on something. Just thought I'd give you a brief look around before I go. So apparently up there, that's Crusader. These walls are Byzantine, and down here I've heard really down low, like there. You can't see it from the shadows, but that's the synagogue of Jesus. In a small building, we would have gathered around, faced each other, and read the prophets. And Jesus gave a sermon here, which was not very well received, not at all. This is something, and what he did was he proclaimed truth. He proclaimed himself the Messiah, but people in his synagogue community were so stuck in their own way. They saw him as this little kid, nobody who they grew up with, who got too big for his britches. And they demanded that they drove him out of the synagogue. Good day.
From the States?
Canada. Student in Jerusalem right now.
From where in Canada?
Nova Scotia, East Coast. Thank you. Love the lovely place. God bless. The people here are much more welcoming, as you can see. I hope this isn't too bright as the things adjust. If it's as bright as it looks. Good day. It's as bright as it looks. It's quite symbolic. Because this is something that a lot of us as tricasts, we went through. We went through what Jesus had to go through. As he had to leave, as he was driven out of his synagogue, out of his hometown, how many of us as tricasts have had to do exactly that? I don't know about you, but when I became a Catholic, there was this Pentecostal and Baptist church that I couldn't go back to anymore. As I became a Tradcath, then it was the Novus Ordo, 2 parishes back home that just in good conscience could not return to. I had to pray in the woods. It was nice, it was pretty, but I missed a normal church life. A lot of people can't leave, and a lot of people don't want to leave, and I get it completely. Who wants to up and leave everything they've ever known? Their entire community, their childhood friends, that they grew up with, their church community, even if it's painful, you know it's not supposed to be this way, and you want to fix it. And I will be honest with you. We should try, to a certain extent. Like, I'll put it this way, I am personally against tricaths up and just leaving their areas where they're from, and moving miles and miles away just to get easier access to the sacraments. I personally am against that unless it really is necessary. I am a firm believer in fighting for your hometown. That said, fighting for your hometown, fighting your church community means realizing when your church community is not in a healthy situation. When there is, for starters, let's start with, for starters, when there is massive psychological abuse in churches, or worse. Jesus and the Gospels and the prophets, think of the prophet Samuel, Samuel did not keep his mouth shut by any stretch of the imagination. Jesus called people whitewashed sepulchres. So that does not mean that. That being said, there comes a time when we need to realize that God's truth is not being taught there, and it is not. There's a time when we need to realize that the truth of God is not being taught; it is being actively taught against, and it's time to up and leave. Jesus knew it, and he accepted it and acknowledged it, and there is no account of him returning to Nazareth. He went to Capernaum, where people. He said they were hard of heart too, but they at least pretended to listen. Today, there is a decently sized Christian population in Nazareth. It's not as big as it was, big as it used to be, but it exists. It was more so than in Jesus' day. So, please, if you get a chance in real life, leave the Novus Parish behind. And I'm not sure what's going on with this phone. I can just see white. It's, and honestly, that's fine for this particular video. Because when you leave the Novus Parish, you either get a nice view of the old city of Nazareth, or you'll see pure white. Either way, it's great symbolic of what you get. On one level, you might get, you'll be out in the streets. You might be alone. You will be alone. But but making that break with modernism brings you closer to God and gives you a chance to stand up for the truth and keep fighting. Reach out to people. Go out of you have to go out of your way to do it, but do it. And you never know who might win, what soul you might win for Christ. Anyway, God bless. Have a great day. Please get in touch with the Society of St. Pius X. Reach out to SSPX and do whatever you can to support their apostolate. God bless and have a great day.